What's going on, guys? My name is Minaya, aka Cash Flow Entrepreneur, and today I'm going to be speaking about how DHGATE fucked me over with $2,202 and why I might never ever use them again. Alright, so let me tell you guys the story from the beginning. I know that many of you guys have been following me for a couple of months now. Remember when I was making around $5,000 with my first Amazon product back on Q4, December to be exact. I had less than 30 days in the market. I actually had like 20 something, actually less, probably 15, and I already hit the $5,000 mark, went over it actually. And for some reason the supplier that I had in that moment saw my results, my success with that product, and what he decided to do was that he came up with some bullshit excuse to make the shipping rates go up, and then I was going to spend like $300 or $400 more into with shipping and everything, and I wasn't with it. I didn't like this idea at all. So what I did is that I started looking into Tanner Fox videos, and one of them says that DHGATE, you could actually get suppliers in DHGATE the same products with less amount of money. So what I did is that I signed up for DHGATE, I browsed through it, I found cool the idea that DHGATE was like a combination of Alibaba and AliExpress. So that amazed me. I was like, hey, this look cool, right? So I started messaging like 30 suppliers or more, and a couple of them got back to me, and so we got into negotiations and things like that. And long story short, I found this supplier. He gave me a rate which was $200 or $300 under the price that the supplier that I had was giving me. So I found this amazing. I was like, hey, let's do it. He sent me pictures of the product. It was literally looked the same way. I was like, well, he said that the quality was the same, that everything was the same. So I was like, hey, let me just give it a shot. So long story short, this came up to be in total of $4,404. Now, for the losses, it was 245 units. It was around $2,202. The biggest error, get ready, the biggest mistake I've ever made with Amazon was paying a supplier through the website itself, so through DHGATE. Before, when I was using Alibaba, I wasn't paying them through Alibaba. I actually used PayPal for that. I actually rather spend the 5% for that buyer protection than just send it over with that website, the Alibaba or AliExpress, the DHGATE website. But anyways, DHGATE didn't allow me to do that. They actually, I think it said that if I was sharing any private contact information, they might ban me or something like that. I don't quite remember why. But long story short, I paid through DHGATE. Supposedly, I was covered by this amazing quote program that they have for buyers and so forth and so on. Now, you guys got to remember that during Q4, Amazon gets really busy, and it takes like 2 to 3 weeks for them to process your inventory, right? So I bought my products, about 500 pieces, and it was around December 15th, right? The shipping time, it was amazing. It didn't take that long. So I was, you know what, everything's going fine, everything's going okay. So it took around probably less than 5 days to get to the Amazon warehouse, and it took around 2 to 3 weeks for half of the inventory to actually be processed in the Amazon warehouse. So now, after half of the inventory becomes, you know, clean, it's processed, I'm able to sell it, so forth and so on, I get this letter from Amazon. I might put around here, one of these places, that says that 245 units out of the 500 are on unsellable conditions. Now, when I see this letter, I go crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Now, what I do is that I contact the supplier. I go to DHGATE, contact the supplier, I tell them, hey, this is what's going on. Amazon, you sent me this letter that 245 units of the 500 that you sent me are on unsellable conditions, and we have to figure this thing out. We have to sort this thing out. So what is it that we're gonna do? He tells me, hey friend, you know the English they be using. He's like, hey friend, this is not possible. I actually was overseeing the people that was packing your products, and there's no way that this was possible. So I contact DHGATE so I could get a return. I could get a refund for that 245 units that are on unsellable conditions. And by the time I do it, mind you, I was 2 or 3 days working this thing out with the supplier, and just hearing excuses over and over again on how it wasn't his fault, that it might have been Amazon. I actually called Amazon. They told me that it wasn't their fault at all, and you know, sometimes, I'm not sure, Amazon are honest, and because it happened to me before that that they messed up 1 or 2 units of the same product, and they actually reimbursed me for that amount, right? So I call Amazon, I tell them, I explain them, they tell me no, that it wasn't their fault. They actually supposedly sent some person to oversee the product itself, and it was on a sellable condition, so forth and so on. So I get back to the supplier, I tell them, hey, Amazon tells me that's not their fault, that it wasn't their fault whatsoever, that the products, that was how they arrived into the warehouse. And he tells me, he just keeps going and going, giving me excuses here, there, that he wasn't his fault, that he has everything to prove it, and I tell him to send it to me, and he didn't send me anything. So what I do is that I contact DHGATE with their goddamn awful services, the goddamn awful services. And I tell them what's going on. They tell me, hey, we're gonna look over this case, and so forth and so on. So give us 2 days so we can overlook this case, see what happens. Please send us the letter that Amazon sent you, the email that Amazon sent you, so we can make a decision. Now, they contact me 3 days later and tell me that they can't do anything about this because the seller didn't have enough money, enough funds in their account. So therefore, they couldn't cover my losses. They couldn't cover that the seller from their platform fucked me over. So once I see this, once I hear this, I go nuts, right? So I call my bank, and what happens is that they tell me, all right, we're gonna open a case with this for this transaction. We're gonna look into it. Please send us all the proof, all the information that you have that might help us out with this case. So I sent them papers with all the emails I received from Amazon, specifying why were the products on unsellable conditions. They had physical defects, they were missing some items, something like that. Then I send them the conversation, screenshots of the conversation I was having with the supplier. I sent them the screenshots of the case itself in DHGATE, and how they told me that they couldn't reimburse me the $2,202 because the seller didn't have enough funds under their account, and they told me, well, you just gotta work out something with the seller. And he wasn't down to working anything out because he said that was too much money for him to cover, even though it was his fault. So I explained all of this to the bank. I sent them all the documents, everything, and it's been 3 months. The case is still not solved. Actually, this week they're gonna give me the last notice. They're gonna tell me, hey, this is what we're gonna do, or this is what we're not gonna do. And I really look forward for them to really solve this thing out with the company or whoever it is that they gotta solve it out. So guys, long story short, do not pay through any of those sites where you're getting your suppliers from. Pay them to PayPal and take that, and just pay that 5% for overprotection in case anything happens, guy. Like literally, unless you want to get fucked over like I did with them. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to join the Millionaire Entrepreneurship Facebook group. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description. There are people making anywhere from $0 to $1 million per year on Amazon there. So if you want to learn anything, we always dropping some knowledge here and there about Amazon, cryptocurrencies, social media marketing agency, and so forth and so on. So remember to join this group, Millionaire Entrepreneurship. It's not about ideas, it's about making them happen. And by the way, I've been doing giveaways here and there from this t-shirts. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.